What makes a great mix? Well, years ago, I didn't have an answer for that. I was trying to make good mixes with some success, but I couldn't explain how to or how I was able to. And as I began teaching about mixing, I had to come up with an answer. So I wrote down my thought process as I was doing live sound mixes and distilled it down to what we call the 7 questions. These are the 7 questions you should continually ask yourself while mixing live music. They will lead you to some kind of action. What action you take is another, well, a bunch of videos. And if you're honest with yourself, you will never answer yes to all 7 of them, which leads to constant action when you're mixing. In fact, if I see a sound guy doing this for very long, I know he isn't doing the best job that he can do. So here they are. Number 1, can you hear everything? In a good mix, you should be able to hear every instrument and voice on the stage. I really find it annoying when I see someone playing or singing, but I can't hear them. This might be a volume issue, but if you can't hear something, it should at least start with turning them up a little. Number 2, is there a clear separation between the parts? In a good mix, you should be able to concentrate on any instrument or voice and hear it distinctly within the whole mix of sounds. I think of this as more of an EQ or frequency space issue. Each instrument and voice should have the EQ to give it its own frequency space. Number 3, does anything stick out? Nothing in your mix should be startling or cause someone to think, "What was that?" unless it's supposed to be that way. It can be as simple as making your adjustments smoothly and slowly. Number 4, does any frequency range stick out? In a good mix, all the frequency ranges are represented in a balanced way. The kick drum and bass aren't creating a tidal wave of low-frequency thumping, or the high frequencies aren't searing the ears off the audience by being exaggerated above the other frequency ranges. This can be a volume and an EQ issue. The drum overhead mics might be too loud, or there's too much bass boost in the low-frequency EQs on the bass or kick drum. Number 5, is the mix smooth, balanced, and not irritating? This question kind of encompasses the first 4 questions, and it's difficult to define easily, but you know irritating when you hear it. And you know smooth and balanced too. Is your mix smooth and balanced? No? It's time for some changes. Number 6, can you clearly hear the vocals? Depending on your style of music, the vocals may ride over the top of everything with the band as an accompaniment, or they may be down at the same level as the band. But I believe the vocals are the most important thing. It's what people remember about a good song. Certainly in churches, the focus of music is the words sung by the vocalists. So work to give your vocals clarity with EQ and even give them priority in volume adjustments, but make sure they're heard. I can't tell you how often I hear vocals that are dull and almost unintelligible, even when just talking between songs. And finally, number 7, have you done everything you can to make it sound better? This question addresses making the mix better, not just making it less bad. Listen for what you like in the song. Listen for the dynamic of it. When I feel the song or a solo part building, I make that happen in the mix. When you're really mixing well, you're part of the band, and your mix becomes a very important component of the song. You know, not too long ago, I had a friend pay me a great compliment when I was doing a live mix. I didn't know it, but he was in the audience watching what I was doing. And after the concert, he told me it looked like I was playing a piano, because till the last chord was done, I was working everything I could with both hands to try to make each song sound better. So when you're mixing, you constantly ask yourself the 7 questions. Can you hear everything? Is there a clear separation between parts? Does anything stick out? Does any frequency range stick out? Is the mix smooth, balanced, and not irritating? Can you clearly hear the vocals? Have you done everything you can to make it sound better? Then start over at the top. Never give up till the last chord is done. And if you ever answer yes to all 7 questions, I'll bet that your mix sounds pretty good. I'm Greg Hill for AV Genius.